Two brothers just 13 years old were excited for Easter Sunday, enjoying spending time with one another.
That's the two missing boys.
That morning, they head out to walk a neighbor's dogs, but they never return. An eyewitness reportedly claims they saw the two brothers, both named Aaronne, in the water near Lincoln Beach. But the brothers both got out and were walking back towards the neighborhood. Family says the brothers have never run away.
The police, they searched.
We've been looking.
And find a dog chain and a pair of shorts that belong to my son.
Police believe the boys aren't in the water. What happened?
To Michael Board, WOAI. Michael, the little boys is just before church time, Easter morning. They asked the neighbor, can we walk your dogs? The neighbor says yes. They're never seen again. So far, we know that one of the dog collars and one of the little boy's pants have been found. Now, I'm not impressed at all by the fact that they were near water, because this water is only about 2 feet deep for blocks and blocks and blocks. I don't think that's the answer.
No, it's not. At Lake Pontchartrain, it's a very shallow lake. You have to go out several, if you think about like city blocks, you would have to go out several city blocks before you could get to an area where it would be deep. This is not like going swimming in the ocean where there's a rip curl or a rip tide that would have pulled them out. What I know today, Nancy, though, police really stepping up their efforts to look for these 13-year-olds. There were helicopters in the sky. Boats were out there. They were using sonar to look under the water. Cadaver dogs on the shoreline. Also officers going door to door in that area. Nancy, I looked on the Louisiana Sex Offender Registry online. I could count at least 9 registered sex offenders right there in that small area where the boys were last seen. You know, police are checking in with them today.
You know, that's a good question. Joining us tonight and taking your calls is a mother, one of the little boy. Carolyn Russell is with us. Miss Russell, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
Miss Russell, I understand that the boy's father had to go out looking, that he could not get the police to come out looking, and he, in fact, is the one that found his son's pants and the dog collar. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
I felt that, I really truly feel that at that point they left too early. It still was daylight for at least an hour, 2 hours. So our family and friends pretty much continued searching. We never stopped. We went further than, I believe, the local team, New Orleans Police Department, went out because his father got to the point where, you know, we didn't feel like they died or searched their water thoroughly. So he went in, as well as one of his best friends went out and searched the water themselves.
Well, thank the Lord that they did, because so far that's the only clue that we've got in the search for 2 little boys who vanished Easter morning just before church time, walking the neighbor's dog. Think about it. Easter morning, the father is working an overnight shift. He's a DJ. He comes home to get the boys to take them to Easter festivities. Long story short, the little boys are gone. Aaron Mitchell and Aaron Russell, both gone. This happens in broad daylight Easter morning. To Deborah Mark with 790 KABC. What do you know, Deborah?
Well, Nancy, not only are the 2 boys missing, we haven't heard anything about them, but what happened to the 2 dogs? The 2 dogs were with them as well. And those dogs have been in the area since, I believe, November. So you would think that they would know how to get back home. So we have 2 boys missing and the 2 dogs.
And if the boys had disappeared in the water, which there's no evidence that they did at all, the dogs would be there. And Liz, please show me the water shots again. You can see the water is 2 feet or less. See the dog and the people? That's the water level way, way, way far out. Not at all a threat to these 2 boys. To Mark Class, weigh in, Mark.
Came back.
They didn't drown. simply because the dogs are missing too. And how do you drown dogs? Secondly, they weren't picked up by a registered sex offender. If I were a registered sex offender, the last thing I'd want to do is mess with two 13-year-old boys. Perhaps there's a mine shaft. Perhaps there's some kind of a hole that they went down to explore and weren't able to get out of. But I think you can eliminate those other two possibilities pretty quickly and easily.
Take a look at all the sex offenders in that area. Far, far more than just 9. Look at this. All the sex offenders noted in red on your map. Joining us is Michael Gass, the founder of the National Academy of Police Diving. He's joining us out of Davie, Florida tonight. Michael, thank you for being with us. Weigh in on a dive search for the boys in this shallow water.
Well, there's really no need for a dive search if it's less than 2 feet, but even 2 feet of water is capable of hiding bodies. There's probably something that went wrong, or somebody's gotten a hold of those children. But my biggest question would be the dog. But if you wanted to conduct a search, you'd have to do a systematic one, and you have to walk through the water.
Oh, so you wouldn't dive at all? You would walk through it systematically, like shoulder to shoulder, or a net fanning out or across? Is that how you would do it?
Probably shoulder to shoulder, because there's a lot of unknowns here. You have to have a starting point, and my starting point would probably be where the shorts were found in the dog collar.
Exactly. Out to the lines, Lindsay in New Hampshire. Hi, Lindsay.
Hi, Nancy. You are my idol. How are you?
Well, I certainly don't deserve that, but thank you very much.
You are.
Well, I'm good, but I'm trying to not imagine going home from work and finding both of my children gone, which is what happened to this father on, of all days, Easter morning. Lindsay, what's your question, dear?
My question is, they said there's multiple sex offenders around that area. Now, are they going to take that leash and those pants and at least try finding some DNA and questioning all those people?
Excellent question. I imagine that the offenders in the immediate area have already been questioned. What do we know, Michael Board, about trying to get any DNA off the pants that were found?
Yeah, that is one of the things that police are looking in. They will not confirm that the leash and the pair of pants that were found at the shoreline are actually the leash belonging to these specific dogs.
Michael, because the family told me it was. And just so you know, there's 107 sex offenders, registered sex offenders, right in that area. 107. Why aren't they in jail? Why are they in these little boys' neighborhood? Why?
Brothers disappear on Easter. The boys, both named Aaronne, seemingly fall off the face of the earth after leaving their dad's home to walk the neighbor's dogs. They don't return, and family calls police.
Fiona, am I crazy, or is this a lot of tires?
Well, Mike,